Yellowstone Treasure State Hostel Squad.
Sitting about an hour and a half from Bozeman, Montana is one of the most popular national parks in the United States. Yellowstone National Park has been on my bucket list for years and was one of the main reasons I wanted to go up to Montana in the first place since I would be so close by. And I'm so hyped that I got to come here for my last day because thankfully after the morning fog cleared up, it was the most beautiful day for it. But the thing is, I only had one day left to explore, so I knew I had to make the most of it. Thankfully, I'm going with people who have gone before and knew the best route to take to see as much as we could. So today I wanted to share that route with you so you knew which spots to hit to have the best day at Yellowstone National Park possible. Now to start, entrance to the park is $35 per car or free with the National Parks Pass. A pass I highly recommend if you are going to more than 2 national parks a year because it is only $80. Before our first planned stop, we saw a field of bison and pulled over to take some pictures. Little did we know how many we would see over the course of the day. So Yellowstone sits on 2 million acres of land. It's actually bigger than Rhode Island and Delaware combined. Isn't that crazy? It's also home to more than half the world's active geysers. There are over 500 of them here. I was so excited to get the day started, even though we had to spend a bit of time waiting for the road to clear from bison. I mean, come on, would you mess with these guys? They definitely have the right of way here. But after a few minutes of bison watching, we were off. So on today's agenda, we have 5 major stops to see. The Old Faithful Geyser, the Grand Prismatic, Gibbon Falls, the Norris Geyser Basin, and Mammoth Hot Springs. Since we entered in from the west side of Yellowstone, we drove past the Grand Prismatic first and went straight onto the Old Faithful Geyser to start so we could hit all of our stops in a straight line. The Old Faithful Geyser is definitely one of the most popular spots in the entire park. So popular that they have so many benches around it for people waiting to watch it go off. Thankfully, when we arrived, it was pretty crowded, so we knew that it was getting close to that time. Why is it called Old Faithful, you might ask? Because of its very frequent and quite predictable eruptions. But what's awesome is that it definitely goes off long enough for you and your entire group to get pictures with it behind you, between 1.5 minutes and 5 minutes on average. If you arrive and aren't sure when the next time it will go off is, there is a predictive sign in the building nearby, which also has a big museum telling you just how and why the geysers work the way they do.
Is that good?
Oh yeah, it's like tepid.
Is it hot?
It's like what?
No, it's tepid. It's like lukewarm. It's not cold.
Good day. The best perfume.
The best perfume.
Once you watch it go off, don't get back in your car just yet. There's an entire trail to walk around to see other smaller geysers nearby. I didn't even know this was a walk we could do, but I'm so happy we did it because we got to see an insane amount of beauty in such a small amount of time. The walk was about 2 miles, but on mainly flat boardwalks, so I'd say it's definitely worth it, even if you aren't looking to do anything strenuous on your day. After you cross the beautiful river, it really looks like you've stepped into an alien planet.
Infant geyser.
Aww, it's a baby geyser.
That made me think of like they were throwing infants into.
That's what you thought of?
That's
Not that it was an infant geyser, but that they're throwing infants into it.
Yeah, they were definitely like tucking babies into the infant geyser. That's why it's getting so.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Working on your geyser impression. Fair. Man.
The steaming geysers bubbling all around you mixed with the sandy terrain made me feel like I was in a movie. But take note, there's no shade out here, and even in the winter you can get sunburned because of the high elevation, so make sure you wear some sunscreen. The ground really looked like a bunch of works of art that I've seen before. Really makes you think about where they got their inspiration from. After finishing out the loop, we got back in the car and headed to the Grand Prismatic. This is another incredibly popular area of the park. The parking lot was almost full by the time we got to it, but thankfully we got a spot. You've probably seen some aerial shots of this landmark before, but unfortunately you are not allowed to fly drones in any natural park.
Wow.
I can't fly. I'm allowed to fly drone. Yeah.
Hey, we get it. Not everyone can be trusted with one of those things. But luckily, the view is also insane from the ground level. The colors are unlike anything I've seen in natural landscape before.
Welcome to the Caribbean Sea.
Yeah, basically. Of Wyoming.
Lay back here in the sun,
Yup.
having a good time.
God, it's so beautiful. So blue. See, this is why I have blue hair, because blue is just a beautiful color.
Yeah,
Santiago's running. He's like, I'm gonna be the first to see the... I'm done.
The Grand Prismatic Springs' crazy colors are caused by a mixture of the mineral-rich water, the pigmented bacteria, and the spring's temperature. It's actually the largest hot spring in the United States and the third largest in the entire world. It's the hottest near the center, which is where it's this deep blue, but it gets gradually cooler around the edges. Its colors match the rainbow dispersion of white light by an optical prism, which is where it gets its name from. It's also the most photographed area in the entire park.
Hey! Oh, it's so beautiful here.
This is another place I could have spent hours photographing, but we tried to only be slightly annoying by taking a few pictures and videos each to keep the pathway moving. There isn't much room to stand with a group, so try to be courteous in letting other people pass you. Everyone wants to see this grand sight just as much as you. Once we made the full loop, we got back in the car and headed to our next destination, which is Gibbon Falls. This is a great spot to take a little break from all the hecticness of the popular spots we just encountered, but still see some beauty nonetheless. It's a short walk from the parking lot to see this gorgeous 84-foot waterfall, but it doesn't fall short of taking your breath away.
Parkour.
Oh, look at that beautiful.
Wow. Jesus. Parkour. Oh, stop. Wow. Oh, the drone shots here would just be insane.
We're gonna just throw your camera and we get a shot.
Yeah, right. Just do it for the shot.
After a few pictures, we got back in the car and off to our next stop, the Norris Geyser Basin.
Parkour.
Why not in the bookstore out in the woods?
Maybe you want to read a book out here.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice place for that. Oh, it's a museum.
Dangerous ground.
It's not gonna be warm. It's not gonna be warm.
Whoa.
Whoa. Yo, that looks so cool.
We originally stopped here looking for the visitor center and museum, but I'm so happy we looked past those and found this.
That's pretty neato burrito.
Crazy.
What do you think?
It's good.
Amazing.
This is actually where the highest temperature was recorded in any geothermal area in Yellowstone. It was measured in a scientific drill hole where the temperature reached 459 degrees Fahrenheit at 1,087 feet below the surface. Like what? This national park isn't just about seeing beauty, but learning about the crazy things that our planet can do as well. Norris Basin shows evidence of having had thermal features for at least 115,000 years, which is a really long time when you think about it. All right, now it's time for our fifth and final stop at Mammoth Hot Springs towards the top northern part of Yellowstone National Park. Now this stop is super interesting and very different than the rest of the park. The weather at Yellowstone is pretty crazy, and the rain and melted snow seep into the earth every year, right? Though cold to begin with, that water is quickly warmed by heat radiating from a partial molten magma chamber deep underground, the remnant of a volcanic explosion that occurred roughly 600,000 years ago. In this area, the hot acidic solution dissolves large quantities of limestone on its way up through the rock layers to the hot springs on the surface. Isn't it crazy how it looks like this afterwards? Just when I thought my mind couldn't be any more blown for the day, this was surely a great way to end it.
Cars we can get, you know?
Yeah.
You get a shot and you get the shot.
Shot and you get the shot.
Oh my God. Yo, that's dope.
And who would have thought we could have just parked up here?
So is that some rocks over there? It smells so earthy.
Salty.
Yeah, yeah, I bet.
Very like earthy.
So like the earth that we're on.
Last one. There he is. Never mind. We're good. Keep my
I
head.
like how no matter where you
I
just
don't
do
have
something
ADHD, I
violent.
swear.
trotting all the way back down the stairs, we stopped at another visitor center type area for a bite to eat and to see some more wildlife. It was kind of scary how close we got, but I'd say we kept a good distance. It was really cool seeing the moms and their babies together too.
Okay, so that one had 2 calves with it, and one of them ran away up this way. And I was like, why wouldn't you stick? Turns out, wrong mom.
Oh my God.
Kid ran away with the wrong mom.
Is that a thing that happens
I've done that plenty.
in the bison family?
I'm sure.
Late to pick up the kids.
I was like, shit.
Is that your kid? Whose kid is it?
Ooh. That's
Ooh.
a fucking angsty teenager. It's like, no, alright, I'm coming.
Right, I'm coming.
And that concludes our entire day at Yellowstone National Park. It's about an hour and a half of driving from Old Faithful up to Mammoth Hot Springs, and the rest will be determined by where you start your day from. But once we left the park and were out of the no-fly zone, the last thing we had to do was have Santiago fly his drone because, I mean, look at the area that we're in. Make sure you add Yellowstone National Park to your bucket list if it isn't already on there, and make sure you check off all these spots along the way. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch y'all on the next one.